Good afternoon, everybody. Big Mike back here with you once again. Welcome back to Big Mike Talks, where today I'm going to be talking about the week that was in pro wrestling. So that includes Monday Night Raw and NWA Power. I apologize for the lack of AEW Dynamite. I end up missing it because the Mets are on, and Mets have been on. I've been watching Agatha all along. So, we'll probably get back to that once that series is over, which I think it's only got like a couple more episodes. So, we'll get back to Dynamite coming soon. So, gonna start us off with Monday Night Raw. Start off with Joe Tessitore and Wade Barrett in the ring hyping up the show, which... okay, fine. Then we get a recap of the main event from last week, which was the Intercontinental title match, in which Jey Uso won. Then we get a promo from Jey Uso, and by the way, the Intercontinental title got a little bit of a redesign, as it has now blue, the kind of outside the buckle... not outside the buckle. The outside of the main plate now is blue, as well as the little bit of the globe on the inside, which looks so much better than what it was. And it reminds me of the old Intercontinental title from the Attitude Era, where it was the oval and it was blue in the middle. That's one of my favorite title designs ever. Anyway, so we got Jey Uso coming down from the crowd, and he cuts a promo saying, "This is the first singles title in my career. I'll fight anyone who wants it. I appreciate y'all. Thank you for hanging with me through and through. For all my years, this one's very special to me. This is the first title I got to show my son," which, that's interesting. "It was a long, hard road to get here. The whole life I've been designated as the twin, one of two. And know me now, though, my biggest fan is my mother. And I spoke to her right before this match last week. She said to me, 'Go out there and show them who you are.' And, well, I got it, Mama. We did it." Celebrating a little bit. Before he can continue, out comes the former Intercontinental Champion, Braun Breaker. He gets in the ring. He gets on the microphone. He says, "I'm not out here to crash your party. I'm out here for the respect of that title. And after last week, I got the same respect for you, Jey Uso. The better man deserves it. And on that night, you were the better man. I'm not going to attack you, but I'm out here to be the first to congratulate you." Braun Breaker extends his hand for a handshake. They do kind of what Sammy and Jay do, kind of their secret handshake. Jey Uso then responds, "Braun, there's a dog in here, oos." And then then the segment ends. This was a nice personal touch for Jey Uso's journey, talking about his family, other than, the bloodline, which I'm so glad. Like, I'm more than happy Jey Uso has this title. Would he have it for long? Who knows? But he definitely has a laundry list of challengers, and I can't wait. So then we cut to outside the arena. You see Dom and Liv, they're hanging around the lowrider. When all of a sudden, Dominic gets a phone call. So then he pulls off to the side. JD McDonough, who the heck was it? Carlito and... it wasn't Finn, it was someone else there. Come up saying, talking to Liv for a little bit. Then we pan over to Dom, who is talking on the phone to Finn Balor. Apparently, Finn is going to be a little late because he's got some travel issues. Then Dom was like, alright, man, we'll hold down the fort. We'll see you soon. They hang up. Dom then goes over to the rest of Judgment Day and say, yeah, he's okay. He said he was stuck, but he's on his way. So then we cut to our first matchup of the evening, as it's Rey Mysterio taking on Xavier Woods. And I gotta tell you, this was a weird match, but it also ended up kind of interesting. Like, there was some really good back and forth, but then there was also some awkwardness. Like, I think Woods was trying to go for a backbreaker or something, and Ray, like, countered out, kind of. I don't know, it was real awkward. The finish comes when Woods was attempting a body slam. Ray gets out of it. Ray turns around to do another move. Then Woods grabs on the back of hold of Rey Mysterio's mask. Mask comes off. Ray's trying to hide his face, even though we know exactly what he looks like. And then Woods wins with the roll-up. So, yeah, that was an interesting little matchup. We'll see that story continue on backstage. Heel Xavier Woods is gonna hit like crack. Like, don't get me wrong, I love Power of Positivity, New Day Xavier Woods. He needs a shakeup. He needs something, man. Then we see Lyra Valkyria. She's in the back. She's getting warmed up, ready to go. Then Sonya Deville and Shayna Baszler walk in, with Sonya taking the lead in the promo, pretty much saying, you got a tough match against Zoe Stark tonight. And you're going to be out there all on your own, while we are going to be out there for Zoe. And don't worry, she's not going to bite unless I say. Oh boy. This whole thing is a little cheesy, but I kind of dig it. At least it's something for the women to do. We then get another teaser vignette of the return of the War Raiders, which I am so here for. Like, it's about time the tag division kicked up its buttocks. So then we see Xavier Woods. He's half celebrating, half, trying to get out of Dodge. Kofi Kingston walks in, with Woods saying to him, look, I appreciate you letting me go out there and do this. Then Kofi asked, did you do that to Ray on purpose? Woods then says, of course I didn't. I love Rey Mysterio. He's a living legend. So you're going to say that to me, but you're not going to congratulate me on the win? I'm just looking for opportunities. Then Kofi says, speaking of opportunities, I just got off talking to Adam Pearce. I got a match next week with Jey Uso for the Intercontinental title. Woods starts to throw in hissy fit, but then Kofi says, while I did accept the offer, I told Adam Pearce, you should get that shot. And he agreed. Then Woods is all hyped up. He's saying, yes, finally, the shot I've been looking for. I could beat Jey Uso. I just need to refocus. Let's focus on tonight, and let's focus on going for 2 for 2. Because Kofi's got an interesting match coming along. A little bit later on. Next match, we got Lyra Valkyria against Zoe Stark. And this match was a fun little TV match. A lot of interference from Baszler and Sonya Deville, which leads to a Z360 for a Zoe Stark win. Then Pure Fusion Collective get in the ring. They attack Lyra post-match. Out to make the save is Kayden Carter and Katana Chance. They eventually hit a keg stand on both Zoe Stark and Shayna Baszler, which is impressive. I gotta tell you, that match was boring. Like, there was nothing to it. I feel like they haven't been doing much with Lyra since the Queen of the Ring, other than these weird trios teams. I don't know. I feel like they need a better plan for her. Is all I'm saying. Then we get a hype video for the Last Monster Standing match in our main event. We'll get to that a little bit later. So then we see Adam Pearce. He's backstage. He's briefing security on I thought it was going to be the Last Monster Standing match. Instead, it is the promo coming up a little later between Drew and CM Punk. So then, speaking of him, CM Punk passes by in the background. Camera follows him. We then see an interview by Katana Chance, Kayden Carter, and Lyra Valkyria, with Chance saying, "Those three broke my nose the last time we faced. We're not the nice fun girls anymore. And we're going to get our revenge." And then the tag titles. In come former champions, the Unholy Union, saying, "Those titles are ours. We're going to get them back." And then they just start yelling at each other. So it looks like we're getting Carter and Chance versus the Unholy Union at some point, which, yeah, that sounds like fun. Then we see the animation of the Hell in a Cell lowering, which, honestly, that always makes my jaw drop. And yeah, I know, it's simple, it's easy. Like steel cage stuff going around the ring, it's something I can really fawn over. So then we see Adam Pearce. He has his security team behind him saying, "What I'm doing here is I'm protecting WWE's events. And we got a hell of an event coming up at Bad Blood in this Hell in a Cell match. Punk and Drew are going to go to war in this cell. And hopefully after all this will be over. But tonight there will be no physical contact. So this is just going to be a war of words. So let's bring him out here." Punk comes out first. He gets his usual pop. Then Drew comes out. He's kind of wearing a black suit, which we'll get to in a little bit. He comes down, gets in the ring. Drew immediately gets the microphone, says, "You wonder why I'm wearing all black? It's out of respect. But not for you, CM Punk. It's out of respect for your wife. After this week, she's going to be feeding you, bathing you, and maybe burying you. Oh boy. It's going to be a celebration when you're gone and don't come back. All thanks to me. And with everyone watching for months that still chant his name, you wanted to wrestle. After looking out there, seeing those idiots, who those idiots are, I see the hatred burning through you, Punk. You taught me to hate, and Saturday, that hate will die with you." So then Drew hands Adam Pearce the microphone, goes to leave the cage. Then Pearce almost football throws the microphone over to Punk, in which I thought he was going to overshoot him, which, honestly, good on you, Adam Pearce. That was a perfect spiral. So Punk catches the microphone, starts talking, says, throughout my career, people have called me a lot of things, and I've got nothing to say to you. I am filled with rage because of you. You turned me into this. This is who I need to be on Saturday to send you home in a box. Damn. Drew, you prayed for this. And after Saturday, when I take everything from you, now, not God or the devil you're praying to, you'll be praying to me, CM Punk, and I'll see you in hell. Short, sweet, to the point. I like that. Definitely an interesting go-home angle for the Hell in a Cell match. In which, WWE, why is that not the main event? Like, I get it. Main eventer, Roman Reigns. I get it. I understand that. That's your box office. But this is your hottest feud you got going. And one of the most dangerous stipulations, at least according to you, that we've ever seen. And it's going to kick off the show. Nah. Should not be. Anyway. So then we get a backstage interview from Braun Strowman, saying he's not nervous about this match tonight. I'm going to remind everyone why I'm the monster amongst monsters. I missed that catchphrase, because that fits him better than one big SOB. Because that sounds like something Big Show would come up with. No offense to Tall Paul. I love you, Tall Paul. Anyway, so then we get The Miz in. Who Miz accuses Strowman of interrupting his match with Reed last week. They kind of get into a little bit of an argument. Then we hear from off camera, hey guys, in walks R-Truth. Which, great to see him back. And then Strowman's like, didn't you get hit by 5 tsunamis? Truth's like, I don't remember that. Then he says to Strowman, go finish what you started, Deuce. We got this. Then he turns to Miz. Truth embraces the Miz, but Miz doesn't hug him back. Which is very telling for what's coming up. Not saying what yet. So then he reveals, talk to Adam Pearce, we got a match. Awesome Truth is back, and we got a match against OP? Or whatever, however you say that. The Miz looks at him quizzingly. OP? Who the heck is OP? Do you mean the Authors of Pain? Truth is like, I don't know who that is. But hey, the Awesome Truth is back. Let's go. R-Truth is hyped up. Miz is rolling his eyes. Because he knows what's coming. And so do I. Next up, we get a Sami Zayn interview in the back. He says, Gunther rejecting me really doesn't mean anything to me. But the disrespect does. And it's been so since I got started in wrestling. Someone tells you it doesn't. They are lying. Gunther, it's saying I'm not on his level. I know I'm more than good enough. Gunther, you keep ducking me. I won't go away that easy. I won't stop until I get my shot. So, Sami Zayn making his goal very clear. We'll see if he gets it. So then next up, we got this very weird 6-man tag team match player as the Judgment Day. So that's Dom, JD, and Carlito take on the LWO. That's Cruz del Toro, Joaquin Wilde, and Dragon Lee. And I'll admit, a lot of this match was really entertaining, especially with Cruz and JD, and then, well, Dragon Lee and pretty much everybody. Carlito really brings this thing down. Like, I don't love to hate on Carlito, but he needs to be something else. Definitely a lot of decent back and forth, including a coast to coast from Joaquin Wilde, which that was actually kind of nutty. So then LW will have the advantage. Liv Morgan then gets up on the apron, distracts the referee. Then out of nowhere, Finn Balor comes from behind Cruz del Toro, knocks him off the top rope. JD hits a devil inside to pick up the win for the Judgment Day. So then we go to a little commercial. Come back, you see the Judgment Day in full in a huddle. And then they break it off. Finn Balor has a microphone. And he starts off, Priest, I heard what you said last week. And I should have known. I don't. Well, you're going to rip out my heart. You should know I don't have a heart. And that's more proof that Judgment Day, you needed Judgment Day more than Judgment Day needed you, because Judgment Day never needed you. Then Liv Morgan pipes up and pretty much says, Rhea, I'm going to prove I am a home-wrecking, other things I couldn't really catch, greatest women's champion of all time. And then before she can finish, out comes Rhea Ripley. And she tells Liv that while I was with Dom for a long time, I know all his dirty little secrets. And I know he is extremely claustrophobic. At this point, a few stagehands bring out the shark cage. And Dom, while you're hanging above the ring, crying, soiling yourself, and trying to clean yourself up, you're going to be getting a front row seat as I win my the title I never lost. So then, Damian Priest comes up from behind Judgment Day, attacks them from behind. Rhea joins in. Liv and Rhea then... actually, it's Rhea and Dom kind of brawl over to the shark cage with Rhea trying to force him in. Liv stops it for a minute. Then she kind of runs off to the back where I thought that would be it. And then Rhea puts Dom in the shark cage. Goes to close the door. Liv Morgan attacks from behind. In the ring, Priest is kind of fighting off the rest of Judgment Day, but the numbers are too great, with both Dom and Carlito holding Priest's arms back so Finn can hit a drop kick, and then he hits Priest with a whole bunch of coup de grace. So, Judgment Day standing tall. Here's kind of what annoys me about this feud. This feud has pretty much been this the entire time. Just sneak attacks and, one or the other standing tall. I need a little something else. I think it's been more than time to get Priest and Rhea away from Judgment Day for a bit and have Judgment Day focus on the tag titles already. Like, geez. we then hear a promo from big old Sheamus, who says, the only thing worse than getting hit with a bat is doing so from someone you considered a friend. I was on the wrong side of this fight. And Butch, we're going to see what you're capable of. Let's set up this one final banger, settle things in a good old-fashioned Donnybrook match. What do you say, Butch? So, definitely an interesting promo. If you don't know what a good old-fashioned Donnybrook match is, it's pretty much the ring set up like a bar. Although not like, God, what pay-per-view was that? I think that was No Way Out 02 when it was on Easter, and the Acolytes set up a bar, which that was pretty cool. And they pretty much have a fight with bar stuff. So, I think it was Sheamus and Jeff Hardy who had that first one, which was pretty entertaining. So, yeah. That should be fun. Then we get a tribute video to Pete Rose, who, yes, is a fantastic ball player. Maybe should be in the Hall of Fame, but that's just me. But he also had his hand in a little bit of wrestling. Now, he never wrestled, but he did have the funniest feud with one of the most interesting people on the roster, and that's Kane. In which I think it was one time Pete Rose was hosting a show. Kane came out and pile drived him, and then Pete Rose for a while, dressed up in different costumes and tried attacking Kane to pretty much no success, because it's Kane. So, definitely nice of WWE putting up that tribute. Rest in peace, Pete Rose. Then we get a Damage Control promo. Now, I didn't catch all of this because this was mostly in Japanese, and even with subtitles, I'm not really fluent in Japanese. But the gist I did get was them saying, last week, we won this match. Bianca, be ready. Neither are ready for us. And we're going to come making a call, a challenge for the women's tag team titles. And the only goal is for Damage Control to get the titles back. Bianca, I got you already. Soon we will get our titles back. So, nice clear goal for Damage Control. We'll see what happens. And next up, we get a one-on-one matchup as Chad Gable takes on Kofi Kingston. I don't know if we've seen this match before, but if we had, I think this clears whatever they had. Because this match was a whole lot of fun. Really good back and forth. Some involvement from Creed Brothers and Ivy Nile, although Xavier Woods does a good job at fending them off. Now, here is where things get interesting. Chad Gable was thrown against the ropes by Kofi Kingston, looking for trouble in paradise. Woods then trips Chad Gable, which makes Kofi miss the move, land flat on his face. Chad Gable then hits the Chaos Theory to pick up the win. And then post-match, we see Woods checking on Kofi. And just, the breakup of the New Day is coming. And I'm a little sad about it. But there is a potential X Factor that might be coming back soon. if you know who I'm talking about. Anyway, so then we go backstage for a Bronson Reed interview. After which they show footage of Seth Rollins being dumped out of the stands by an LA Rams fan at football last weekend. So, cut to the interview. Reed says, "Congratulations, Seth Rollins. I hope he's coming back soon. And while I did take months off of your career, but sorry, Braun, I'm looking to take a few more months off. And Braun, I'm sorry, but the last few weeks I've exposed you as the man you are, and I'm going to be the last monster standing." Ooh, boy, that's going to be interesting. So then we see somewhere else backstage, Adam Pearce is setting up the rules with the referee and someone else, I'm not sure, when Gunther passes by, gives him a little smile, and then walks off. We then see a little Wyatt 6 tease at their next victim. Nothing is really said in these. It's just like, creepy message, QR code. In which I'm going to say this, the QR codes are becoming boring. Like, don't get me wrong, if you're like a sleuth with these things, go for it, do what you gotta do. For me, I just want to watch a show. Like, I don't want to do a ton of research. Let me watch this thing in peace. So then, we're in the arena. Gunther comes out, grabs a microphone, says, life as champion has been pretty great. I love every aspect of it. The money, the adulation. But the one thing I hate is the insult dealing with Sami Zayn every week. I couldn't find someone more annoying than whoa. Sami Zayn comes out. He's on the ramp. He has a microphone. Says, "Gunther, I'm sorry you find me so annoying dealing with me. An easy way to put an end to that is give me what I'm asking for." So then Sami Zayn then walks down to the ring, gets in, says, "But I know you won't do it, and I know why." Gunther replies, "Tell me why then." "You won't." He continues, "I tried to tell you, you're not on my level." Sami Zayn then replies, "If that's true, why did I beat you at WrestleMania last year?" Which that got a big reaction from the crowd. Sami continues, "You think you're better than me, and it drives you crazy. You're scared that I'll beat you again?" Gunther replies, "You're right, I am afraid, but not of you. I'm afraid for my reputation. Losing to you is my biggest embarrassment of my career. I was very confident I could beat you at WrestleMania, but after I saw my family and my father said, I flew all the way from Vienna just to see you lose to this pipsqueak. And while your family is used to seeing you fail, my family expects everything from me. And I'll be something you'll never be, and that's World Heavyweight Champion." Sami Zayn then retorts, "You're right. My family watched me fail time and time again, but each and every time I got knocked down, I got back up and moved on. While you crumbled. And you ran off and hid for months. You couldn't show your face here. because your dad make you feel like a loser. And before Sami Zayn can continue, Gunther just straight up attacks Sami Zayn from behind. Sami tries to fight back for a little bit, hits an exploder suplex, goes for a hula kick. Gunther catches it, locks in the sleeper for a second, hits Sami with a power bomb. Gets back on the mic, says, "You want this so bad? You got your match." Which is sadly not happening at Bad Blood. I wish it was, but I understand why. It's going to be on Raw next week. And boy, Raw is looking a little stacked for next week. So, next matchup, we got a tag team match player, as it's the Awesome Truth taking on the Authors of Pain. Now, Razor and Truth start. Truth goes for the 5 moves of doom, but Razor blocks the Attitude Adjustment into a power slam, which that was massive. Tags in Akam. They take turns just absolutely beating on Truth until he tosses both members of AOP out of the ring. Tags in the Miz. Miz is hyped up. He's ready to go. It looks like he wants to fight. Turns around, hits a big old boot to our Truth. And I guess Truth then tags in, because that's a legal tag. Because then Miz leaves the ring, walks back up the ramp out of the arena. AOP hit a What a Rush on our Truth for the win. Now, I'm going to say this. I enjoyed the Miz's face run for a bit, but it did get a little bit long in the tooth. Miz is far more impressive as a bad guy. So I am glad we are moving on to this and finally getting our Awesome Truth finished. We then get a rundown of the Bad Blood card, which honestly that's looking like a lot of fun. Then we get an interview with Gunther with Ludwig Kaiser standing behind him. He says, "Sami got under my skin? Him? No, that's not possible." And before Gunther can continue, in walks Braun Breaker. And Braun says to Gunther, "Sorry, from myself." Then Braun walks off. Gunther then turns to Kaiser and says, "He really is a badass." Which, honestly, that definitely got a chuckle out of me. That was a fun line from someone who's maybe a little overly serious, but that's definitely a nice little character moment from Gunther. And now we focus on our main event. And oh boy, it was a doozy, because it's last monster standing. That is Bronson Reed versus Braun Strowman. Now, rules of pretty much last man standing, what this is. Basically, you have to incapacitate your opponent enough so that they don't beat the 10 count from the referee. So, no pinfalls, no submissions. I don't think there was any count out, unless I'm absolutely wrong. Yeah, this match was an absolute hoss fight. They absolutely brought it in this match, including Bronson Reed with a Death Valley driver through a couple of tables. Braun Strowman with a big old shoulder tackle through the barrier. They beat the 10 count. Then Bronson Reed with a big old crossbody through another barricade into like the front row. At that point, you see the ref and a few other few other extras come out. They're checking on the crowd, ready to go. Reed then gets Braun Strowman in the ring, hits a tsunami, and he's trying to get the attention of the referee. He's like, come on, come on, come on. I got him. Goes up, hits another tsunami. Then he sees the referee is still out there. So Reed goes out there, fights through whatever security's there, grabs the ref by the scruff of the neck, throws him in the ring, but Strowman beats up the 10 count. Reed then goes out, gets a couple of chair shots. Strowman with a block on the suplex. And then they go up. Go for the superplex. That gets blocked for a little bit. Eventually, Strowman does get the superplex, and the ring just implodes. And I'll talk about that in a minute. Reed is kind of up, but then he kind of hunches over on the steel steps, which was brought in. Which brings out our next surprise return. It's Seth freaking Rollins. He comes out and he hits a stomp to Reed on the steps. Braun beats the 10 count. Referee counts to 10. Your winner, it's Braun Strowman. Apparently Strowman did suffer a little bit of an injury in this match. Hopefully he gets better soon. And honestly, I think this match made both guys look like, a couple of kaiju ready to destroy anything in their path. While I'm a little sad that Reed lost, I think Strowman definitely needed the win a little bit more. And while it did hurt a little bit that Strowman had help from Seth Rollins, I think it's okay. It makes sense for the story. So yeah, that was Monday Night Raw. Overall, a really, really good go-home edition of the show. Ready for Bad Blood. That should be a fun one. And next up, we got NWA Power. We start off with a Billy Corgan interview. Pretty much says, Stanley proudly stand before you as a successful musician with a third kid on the way. But my proudest achievement is 7 years ago, I bought the National Wrestling Alliance, with the NWA being the spiritual home to many legendary wrestlers. We are the oldest brand in the world, celebrating 76 years of operation. And Adam Pearce, when you're ready to get back in the ring, come back to the NWA. Shouting out the Raw GM. That's insane. Then he goes into a story about something that happened 30 years ago in a very specific arena. An arena they're in Philadelphia. So, 30 years ago, a young man threw down the NWA title. While the NWA is about history, it was swept aside for ECW, which then started in ECW chant. Then it's revealed that Billy Corgan offered some time for this man to be here tonight, but he declined. And I know why. All great champions don't want to admit when they're wrong. And why he's wrong is that you're all here tonight, but the ring is still open to him should he decide for it. Well, I think he should have been here tonight. I brought NWA to get it to the top, and as long as I'm here, we aren't going anywhere. And if anyone wants to try to take it, you're going to have to pry it from my cold, dead hands. Now, before we continue, I'm going to explain what Billy Corgan's talking about. So about 30 years ago, there was a promotion called Eastern Championship Wrestling. It just fell into the hands of Paul Heyman. Yes, the wise man. And he was starting to make changes. Eastern Championship Wrestling was in an alliance with the NWA, which was not in the place it was before during the Territory era. So he set up a tournament for the NWA World title. Turns out that was a swerve, bro, as the man who won the tournament was the franchise Shane Douglas. And he had the very famous promo where he told Ric Flair, Terry Funk, and everyone else who held this title, they can all kiss my ass. And he throws it to the ground. And he picks up the new ECW World title. And he rechristens Eastern Championship Wrestling to Extreme Championship Wrestling. In which definitely changed the foundation of wrestling. Because if we don't get ECW, I don't think we get the Attitude Era. So, little pat on the back for Shane Douglas. Anyway, as Billy Corgan was saying that about tearing NWA from him, out comes ECW alumni and a man who actually has been on Power more than a couple times. It's the Blue Meanie. And I can't be mad at the Blue Meanie. He's one of my... He's definitely a good character. So he comes out, gets on the microphone, pretty much says, "Hey, meet my neighbors, Billy." And Billy, I was a fan of the NWAs for quite a while, but when that belt was thrown down, as a fan, as an ECW guy, I just want to thank you. I attended my first NWA event in '96, and I've been going to the NWA shows in this town for years. You've taken NWA from the ashes, and I say that calls for a celebration. And no better than the Blue Meanie dance. So Blue Meanie does his funny little dance, which I absolutely love. Interviewer gets down with it. But Billy is a little bit more reserved. And he kind of does it like this. Like he's not all the way with it. Now, I don't know if he's maybe embarrassed to dance or whatever. In which, totally. Or is this a part of something? Like maybe this is a story that's going to be happening down the line. I think we might have to wait and see. So that was our first long-winded promo of the NWA on X, by the way, which is very interesting. So we start off with our first matchup of the evening, and it's for the NWA Tag Team titles, as Alex Taylor and Kerry Morton take on Knox and Murdoch in tag team action. And before the bell rings, you have security out. They're out on the ramp, going to be trying to stop Thrillbilly Silas Mason and Eric Smalls. And before the bell, the Southern Six attack Knox and Murdoch from behind. Then Alex Taylor gets a chair, goes to use it, misses. Knox and Murdoch then fight back. And bell rings. Murdoch and Alex Taylor start. They do their thing for a little bit. Then Noxie gets tagged in, as does Kerry Morton. They do their thing for a little bit. Kerry tries for a kiss of goodbye, but that whiffs. Bunch of scoop slams by Noxie. including a crazy looking crossbody, which I guess got countered somehow, because then we see the Southern Six with the 6 speed, only for 2. Then before you know it, Knox and Murdoch with the high-low to pick up the win and retain their titles. I'll admit this match started out fine enough. It never really got out of gear 2, which is definitely very strange. They've definitely had better matches together, but ultimately it was fine for what it is. Next up, we got an interview from Sir Tom Latimer, who saying, "Will I be redeemed? Every time I go to the top, it gets taken away from me." And Latimer is the first to mush it down. Deep down, EC3, I know you're a scared little boy, but I stand here tonight, no longer a boy, and I'm begging for the ball. And now I'm seeing the light. I'm going to take one step forward, and eventually I will get there. And today, I'm forgiven, start anew, and then I'm going to stand there as champ, as I am redeemed. I get the idea behind this interview, but that was a little all over the place. I think Latimer needs to focus up on his promos a little bit. But ultimately, message received. We'll see that a little later. Then we go to an ad. Come back with EC3 in a backstage interview where he pretty much says, "I don't need to look at my social media for you to hear my message. I'll hold the title for years and years and years. And while Tom, you are a great wrestler, NWA needs more. And I'm on the list with greats. And today, it has been written because I'm over, man." I hate putting catchphrases into promos, but that fit way too well. And while EC3 was all over the place as well, it kind of fits his character a little bit better. So, we then cut to our main event of the evening, and it's for the NWA World Heavyweight title, as Tom Latimer challenges EC3. Starts off simple enough. Couple of arm drags, couple of hip tosses. Nice looking drop kick from Latimer, which knocks EC3 to the outside. Then we get a little outside in kind of thing. EC3 then with a 1%er on the apron takes Tom back in, hits another 1%er, and while Tom Latimer is down, hits a good couple of strikes in. Latimer then kicks up, hits a big old knee and a clothesline. Goes for the armbar submission, but EC3 blocks it. EC3 then with a big old clothesline to the outside. Tom is down for a minute, but he beats the 10 count. EC3 then with a twist of fate, which that was interesting. EC3 then goes up top for something else. Latimer dumps him over the ring post. Then hits a crazy looking suplex onto the apron. EC3 gets back in. Latimer takes a moment. He beats the 10 count. EC3 then with a draping DDT. into a flatliner, into a heel kick, in which both men are down. EC3 then with a Undertaker-style sit-up, which is interesting. And he's grinning like a Cheshire cat. EC3 then tries for a suplex. That gets blocked. Latimer with a couple of suplexes. And I forget how this went. But I think Latimer was trying for something else. EC3 with the low blow with the ref distracted. Clothesline over the top rope. Big old dive. Back in. EC3 goes for another 1%er. That gets blocked. Confusion bomb. Flatliner. Into a couple of strikes. Latimer with a big old cutter. Tries for a crossbody. Misses. EC3 with a big sphere. 1%er. Then EC3 rolls out of the ring. Gets a steel chair. Looks like he's going to hit Tom Latimer with it. Instead, folds it open. Puts it down on the mat. And sits there. And just pretty much trash talks Latimer. Latimer then sits up. Gets a big old low blow. Which, that was impressive. Big old powerbomb. Brighter side of suffering. Your winner. And new NWA World Heavyweight Champion. It's Sir Tom Latimer. And honestly, this guy deserves it. Guy has been grinding for years now. More than proud of him to reach the top. And hopefully, he has a really solid reign. Alright, that is it from me. I hope you guys enjoyed. Coming up soon is, tonight is SmackDown and Rampage. Probably check that out. Tomorrow is going to be interesting because it's Bad Blood, but it is on at 6 p.m. So, that might have a little crossover with the Mets. We'll see about that. I think more than likely I'll watch that Sunday, then maybe review it on Monday, and then the rest of my review on Tuesday, in which there's another Met game, but I think I could probably watch Power whenever. Then also Tuesday at 9 is going to be AEW Dynamite. So, yeah, that's going to be very interesting. Hope you guys stay tuned for those. Till next time, happy wrestling, everybody. Peace.